everyone. Thank you for joining us for this session, a session called Yard So Hard. The namesake is from KD, who we have here today. And we're going to get right into it. We have 25 minutes, so let's jump in. This session is for any sales leaders out there who've just incorporated video into their selling process or are thinking about it. And you're going to want to hear from our two panelists. We have Mallory Fahey from LinkedIn and Kevin Dorsey, better known as KD. And these two have been coaching their teams on adopting video messaging in their sales process. And they've got some great perspectives to share about how to hit success early, how to bring reluctant reps on board, and share where they've seen the biggest impact of video and coaching. I'm Reba Pellerin. I have made over 10,000 videos in my career at Vidyard, and I started here before this tool was even a thing. So I used to be in the comfort zone of email, and cold calls are not my comfort zone, emails. And I had to kind of like venture out and make videos. So although I feel good about it now, I was a reluctant rep at the time. So super excited to get started. I'm going to ask quickly if Mallory, can you kick us off with introducing yourself?
Yes, thank you, Reba. I'm Mallory Fay. I am a LinkedIn sales leader. I look after our North America team, which focuses on supporting SMB clients. So our AEs have over 300 accounts at any given time. It's a mix of prospects and current customers. So we're always trying to think about how do we reach them at scale in really effective manners.
Awesome. KD, tell us about you.
KD here, practice lead at Winning by Design right now, focused on manager and revenue leadership development. Prior to that, inside sales org at PatientPop, so had at its peak almost 80 SDRs and about 60 AEs all inside, and we leveraged video heavily across prospecting, top of funnel, middle funnel, bottom of funnel, and so it was a big thing. That's where Yard So Hard came from. Because we utilized it in every kind of step of the process. So pumped to be here. Should be fun.
Awesome. So my first question, I'm going to ask Mallory first. Tell us about why you first got started with using Vidyard. What started that whole interest?
Yeah, so for me, because I'm a sales manager at LinkedIn, I get prospected all the time. People are constantly sending me emails. And what I notice is most of them are text. It's hard to differentiate, especially if I don't know the company name. I'm very unlikely to click into it and even talk to that SD or AE. I think knowing that for our sales team, I'm like, what's going to stand out to me? For me, when I see video, I pay attention a little bit more. It piques my interest. So for us, we felt like having that multi-channel approach, whether it was email, video, LinkedIn sponsored messaging, working across all those channels gave us the best chance at really reaching our prospects and getting in front of them.
Awesome. So it came from this, like you were on the other side and you're like, this doesn't work for me. I bet it doesn't work when my reps do this too. That's super interesting. And KD, what about you? Like at PatientPop, what kind of spurred the start of Vidyard there for your team?
So truthfully, what spurred it is reps' hesitancy to make cold calls. So that's what spurred it, was like, okay, I can keep fighting, right? This idea of like, make more calls. Or is there a better way to warm people up? Is there a better way to also deliver the messaging that I want delivered, right? And so I've always been a huge believer in video. That's actually what triggered it, where it's like, okay, a rep making 50 cold calls a day, a rep sending 30 videos a day. Who's going to win? But also which one's easier to do? And the sending of the videos I felt was easier to do than making cold calls. And so that was the trigger point of like, let me try this. What if I could make it easier and better for my team? So that was like the real impetus of it all, is cold calls are hard. What's something a little bit easier that also is a little bit more engaging and more fun for both sides?
That's really interesting. So you kind of like assessed the situation and was like, doing more of the same might not be the right answer here. Now, tell me about, I'm sure there were some people on your team then that maybe liked making cold calls, but were super reluctant about making a video. What were you focused on in the beginning to get your team reaching for Vidyard?
So, I mean, really, just like when you roll out anything with an org, right? It starts with the why, like why, but then also tying that why to them. Like, why does this benefit you to do this, right? And so selling the concept but then also it's training. So when I hear a lot of companies say they try to do video, they don't actually coach their people on how to do it. Like we had training sessions, practice sessions, coaching sessions on how to do video the right way. Like it was something that we actually helped them get good at. It is hard just to say, hey, go record videos if they've never been taught how, right? So we really did a lot of teaching, but then interestingly enough, we built it into onboarding and we built it into our hiring process. So because we knew video was important, what do you think was maybe a part of our interview process? Video. If you weren't willing to do it in the interview process, I know then you're not willing to do it once you're in the role. And then when you were in the role, one of the first places we started them was actually with sending videos out because it was free practice. Mm-hmm. They can use the script over and over and over again with no fear of rejection, no fear of getting shut down, but actually getting the repetitions they need on it. So they learned it faster. So then we built it into onboarding as well. So a lot of it came down to teaching and coaching people how to do it and how to get comfortable with it.
Yeah, the teaching and the coaching, that comes from a sales leader who's willing to put the time and effort into that. So kudos to you on that. Because like you definitely have to demystify what the heck do you say in a video? Like I have this tool, I don't know what to say next. So that's really interesting, and how you incorporated it into hiring. That kind of sparks a question in my head, because it sounds like you both started with this idea of using video to prospect. And I know that as your team has built that muscle, it's bled into other areas of your process, and you're using video in different ways. So Mallory, can you tell us a little bit about how your team uses video today beyond just prospecting?
Yeah, so I think that was prospecting, to your point, was the initial use case we thought. But I think what we've realized is customer support and customer upsell. We're doing so much of that through videos, right? Think about each of us. We have so many meetings. The last thing we want to do is get on meetings. And a lot of times I will push out calls with people because I just don't feel like talking. And if they don't get in front of me in that 3-week time period, right, they've lost an opportunity to upsell. So we're finding that sending quick videos of like, here's how you do something, here's an upsell, here's an opportunity for an upsell and why it's beneficial, or here's something you can do to optimize your performance. We're getting responses back, and people are moving along in that sales cycle faster than us waiting for the meeting. And we're able to do it at all hours of the day. So we're not constricted to that 9 to 5. This is when you have calls or provide value to customers. We can send it at 10 p.m. if that makes sense for that AE because of their own work-life balance that they're trying to handle. So I think it's helped with rep productivity. And then we just have so many more two-way customer conversations.
Yeah, I mean, like you've both kind of hit something interesting, that not using video sounds like you're leaving an opportunity on the table. With KD, it was like, okay, reluctant reps not making cold calls. You're leaving an opportunity on the table to really connect with your buyer if you could just navigate to a different channel. And the same with you, Mallory, is like, if you can't get those 30-minute phone calls, but you need to move your deal forward, you have to think outside of the box, and there might be a better answer here for the rep and for the buyer. I know that like even during the pandemic, parenting in the pandemic, you might be off half the day with a sick kid, but then you might be checking your emails and trying to get back, catching up at 8:30 at night. You might not want to talk to an AE at 8:30 at night, but you could digest a video and move the deal along. So I think that's so insightful about how to continue using video beyond prospecting. What about you, Katie? I know you have AEs. You had AEs under your realm before. Like, were they using video at all?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Our top performing AEs all leveraged it. Every single one of them. And they leverage it, yes, in prospecting, but post-demo follow-up, pre-demo. So our SDR to AE handoff included a pre-demo Vidyard from the AE, right? So the SDR booked the meeting. The AE that's taking that meeting would record a quick video saying, hey, looking forward to meeting. This is me doing some research on your practice right now, like really looking forward to talking about it. So we did it pre, because then what we're doing is this will sound weird, but you'll get what I mean. We're also training the prospect to watch our videos, right? Where they get that pre-meeting video, they watch it. Okay, that was fun and engaging. So when we send one post-demo, they're used to watching it. It's not the first time. So post-demo, we did it. For proposals, we did it. When people ghosted, we did it, right? Like video allows you to do something that text and calls do not, which was the other big part of this, is video has a longer tail. You remember it and it lasts longer, right? Like it lasts longer. They'll go back to it. And, Mallory, I'm sure you saw this with yours, like in CS as well. People go back and watch it multiple times, right? When the video got forwarded because you start getting all the dings of like, oh, geez, it's been watched like 50 times now, right? So it's being sent.
Yeah.
So we used it everywhere in the process, and it worked. Our highest converting connection rate was like video, click to call. Watch the video, click it. That's where we booked the most meetings. The deals that got video sent had a higher close rate. Like I had the data to prove it, right? And so once you also then have the data behind this, it becomes unarguable. It's like, this works better. This works better. We need to get good at this and teach our people how to do it.
I think too, to your point around the human element there, around it trains the prospect. I feel like our team members have said that they get on calls with customers and they already feel like they know them a little bit because they've seen their video. They were able to use a little bit of humor in video, and then the conversations are much more casual than if you send an email. It's very formal looking. It's hard to really connect with that person. So I think from a relationship building standpoint as well, it's so much faster by just using those video snippets to really build that when you're not on the call.
Agree 100%.
Yeah, it's that 1 or 2 minutes in front of your buyer that just builds a bit of rapport and trust, makes them feel like they know you a little bit more. And I think that goes a long way, although it's not always easy to measure. We have some questions in the chat that I definitely want to get to. So someone asks, are AEs in SaaS enterprise using video, or is it just startups? And Mallory, what startup do you work at?
I mean, I used to work at a startup, but for us, right? I mean, I'm at LinkedIn. It's a large company, so for us, we're our SaaS side of the business will use Vidyard, so they'll use that. I'm on the media side, so when people are advertising on LinkedIn, those are the customers we support. So we're seeing it across the board, whether it's trying to get in front of enterprise customers, mid-size, or SMB. I feel like everybody is kind of using it for all of the use cases.
Katie, what's your thoughts there?
There is not a company on this planet that I wouldn't recommend to use video. Like zero hesitation. I don't care about the market. I don't care what the prospect is. I'm sure they'll get brought up in here. It's like, oh, there's certain industries it doesn't work. Do they have people? Because if they have people, it'll work, right? So I recommend it to large companies, small companies, large companies targeting SMB, small companies targeting enterprise. Like if you are prospecting or selling to people, you should be using video.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I'm focused, for my perspective on here, I'm focused on our largest clients, and they definitely use video, enterprise SaaS companies. You've hit it on the head. People are people. People work at startups. They move to enterprise and vice versa. Buyers are people. And so it's just a really great way to connect, to communicate complex ideas. It's not really in the startup domain, I would say. Got
deliverability got brought up.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. I'm behind. I didn't scroll down. What do you think about deliverability, Katie?
So with everything that we're talking about, obviously you have to test it, right? But I feel like with video, there's a lot of like fears that not many people have actually tested, right? They're like, well, I don't want it getting locked out because of links. Did you test it? Because you also have links in your signature more often than not. We never seem to be afraid of sending a link with a white paper or things of that nature, right? So the first, you have to test it. I tested first email, second email with the links and saw no difference in deliverability across either one of them, right? Now you have to test it obviously for your own, but no, we saw no issues in the companies I consult with. Same thing, right? But to the point here is you need to do enough of it to test. And I think that's where most people go wrong with video is they'll send 10 and go, it didn't work. And it's like, well, no, that's not enough to run a test, right? Like, because, and we have time here, something to remember, y'all, with video emails are not built for a response. That's not what a video email is built for. It's built for the video. Do not expect higher response rates per se from a video. Expect higher engagement rates, and then you get a better connect rate and response rate to the next email that you send. I think that's also where people get tripped up is they send 20 emails, they don't get a positive response and go, it didn't work, forgetting that 9 people watched the video and they didn't do anything to follow up on it.
Mal, do you do any testing on your team about when and where video works? Have you been able to?
I could lie and say we've tested everything and you have it mapped out. We don't. We want to. There's just a lot going on. I think for us though, where we talk about like how you determine the ROI, is it that you got a deal off of because someone got video? I think a lot about my own rep satisfaction. Do they feel like they're more productive as a result of using video? Do they feel like they're able to get their message across faster? Are they happier because they have another channel? So for me, that's equally important because I know if I can save a rep an hour a day, that will pay off in revenue in the long run. So we definitely do testing. I think a little bit, the stuff that we've heard that goes over better is more human elements being funnier. I'm in the B2B sector for LinkedIn, so people tend to be very formal and not fun. So the more humor you use, the better it stands out. I also think when we're more personalized in showing value in the video, that's when we get those calls and engagement. So rather than a video just only being, hey, I'm Mallory, someone may not respond to that. But if I'm looking at your LinkedIn page or I'm looking at your company page and I'm saying, here's some things I think could be interesting for you to think about, that will pique my interest and then I'm more likely to respond. So part of it is video, but what's the message within the video that's equally as important to drive that action?
So both of you have touched on this. You've talked about like what kind of makes a good video or a strong video, bringing humor, things like that. Really good reps using video more than the mediocre ones. After your time, like managing these folks who are using video, have you seen any themes around what really good reps do with video? I don't know who wants to answer that first.
KD, you can go.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. Right. Like there's always patterns to success. There's always things you can pick up on far and away. Right. And there's two buckets. Right. And I want to try to touch on both. There's prospecting videos and then there's, bottom of funnel customer videos. On the prospecting side, under 90 seconds. Right. If they don't know you, it's under 90 seconds. Having something about them pulled up. So their LinkedIn, their website, their boss's LinkedIn is a great tip for y'all. Like have their CEO's LinkedIn pulled up on your screen when you're doing it. But the framework that we followed for prospecting was K-pick. Here's what I know: problems, impact, call to action. So it's K-pick. It was here's what I know about you and your company. Here are the problems you might be dealing with. Here's the potential impact of those problems. Here's the call to action, right? Maybe it's a conversation. Maybe it's reading like this article, whatever it is. And that was the framework. But then also just the energy, to Mallory's point, having some fun. Like have some fun. We had like a rule, like we as you can tell, I like to simplify things. Yard so hard was one. The other one is end it and send it. No re-recording. No trying to get it perfect. Your dog lost its mind in the background. Own it. Like just own it. Sorry, y'all. That's my dog. 1 second. But they brought the human element in, and that always was more successful. In the bottom of funnel stuff, under 3 minutes, again, more focused on them and not about us. Talking about them, what they're focused on, what they said in the meeting, what they wanted, what their goals were. That was the key on the follow-up side.
Yeah, I also think if you're asking for a meeting, there's not enough time spent explaining what you're going to be giving or providing them on the meeting. So I hear a lot of like, here's the value, here's what you could do, let's get on a call. And if I'm the person on the other side, I'm going to look at that and say, well, why am I going to take 30 minutes out of my day? What am I going to get from this call? What can I expect? So I think even that emphasis of like, let's hop on a 15-minute call. Here's what you're going to walk away from that call with. That to me makes me decide yes or no. I want to schedule time with that person.
Yes, what's in it for me? Make it super clear. Yeah, for sure. Those are really great pieces of advice. And I saw a question in the chat around, are you personalizing each video for each prospect or using the same video? So do you have any perspective on when to use like a one-to-one video and when to use something more generic? Are you doing that?
For us, we start with generic a little bit. It just depends because we're in a scaled business. So it all depends on your book size.
Yes.
So a lot of times we'll start with something a little bit more generic, make it feel personalized. Hey, I'm Mallory. I'm your rep. Here's what I'm here to support you with. If we're not getting a response, we'll then go into a more hyper personalized message, whether it's showing something on the account, showing their profile and following up with that. So that's been our approach because we're in a scaled book, but it'll differ if you have smaller books.
Definitely. Yeah, that's super great advice for people who are managing high volumes of accounts for sure. What about you, Katie? Did you use generic video at all?
No, like
Interesting.
we didn't. If we were going to take the time to send the video, it was personalized, right? Like, and I like actually let me rephrase it. Did we do it? Yes, I tested it. Did it work? We didn't see like a big result from it, and so we personalized. That's how we viewed video, is like we're going to personalize it. And we got very efficient, right? Because again, if you're talking about a 90-second video, you can record a lot of those in a very short period of time when you're just doing them back to back. So we would have like, the same way people run like, call blitzes, we'd have yard blitzes. 1 hour. We're going to record 20 of these bad boys in an hour and get it done, right? So we personalized almost all the videos that we sent because that's where we saw the biggest return on it.
Well, I like that the takeaway here is that you can do generic video in certain circumstances and you can do one-to-one, and both generate results. So that's super interesting. You've got to think critically about what your book is, what your industry is. Is this your top tier account? Is this something that maybe generic's going to work? You've got to think about it critically. You can't just like get started and go. So, and A/B split testing all the way. If generic's not working, double down on personalized, and I like that. So if you were to look back at how you implemented or rolled out a video strategy on your team, are there any learnings or like missteps that you would avoid for the next time?
We don't have enough time to go into all that.
We have 3 minutes.
We got 2 minutes left. I've learned a lot of, like, truthfully, I think the answers I'm giving, think about the opposite of the answers I'm giving. And I can tell you those are the mistakes that I made. So like not training people, first mistake, right? Just expecting people to do video if that's what weren't they hired to do, not giving them a framework to follow, not setting up the systems to do it. We actually brought in, shout out Nick Capozzi. I brought in someone to train them on video presence, right? How to do lighting, like what that good looks like there. So like we got to coach people on it. So I made that mistake. I didn't coach people. I tested it. I had one rep, all video. She killed it. So what do? Roll it out to everybody. Bombs. Well, no wonder I didn't teach anybody how to do it, right? Like she knew how to do it. So I'd say that's the biggest mistake I made early on, was not selling it, but then not teaching people how to do it right. Just the assumption of like, hey, y'all go do videos. And people sit in their room and they're like, what do I do? Right. So that's the biggest one for me. Train.
Yeah. The technology is not enough.
Yeah.
Mal?
I think for me, one thing we did really well is we set really hard metrics of like, you have to make a certain number of videos by this amount of time. And I think sometimes leaders don't want to be that heavy handed, but it's like going to the gym and doing a new workout. If you don't make somebody come multiple times in a week, they're not going to see the impact and they're going to say this didn't work for me. So setting those guidelines was big. I also think about your own sales team. Like my sales team is young. I was like, they're going to be nervous about video. They love TikTok. They had no problem picking up video and coming up with fun ideas. So I think I needed to teach them different ways to use it in a professional setting, but like being on film, they were good. So I think that's also sometimes we can get in our own heads around if someone's going to be resistant to it or not. Chances are if they're, in a certain age range, they're more comfortable with video than we probably are ourselves.
Oh, yes, 100%. No limiting beliefs here. That is great. I think that basically brings us to 25 minutes, which I know we're trying to just jam pack these sessions so that you can jump to the next one. But there's such great takeaways here. Thank you, Katie and Mal, for sharing your perspective. I think big takeaways I have are A/B split test. Don't just give the tool to your reps and expect them to go see success. You've got to coach and train. That's why you are leading sales teams. And give it a try. Think about avoiding some of the missteps that can come with rolling out new strategy. But I think hearing from you both was super helpful on how to make video successful for your team.
Yard so hard.
Yard so hard.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us.